Sometimes the daily grind of modern life can make you want to retreat far away from civilization, with nothing but a warm fire and Mother Nature to keep you company. From a log cabin nestled deep in the woods to a snug house bedded beneath a fleece of snow, there's something comforting about living with only the bare necessities. While many of us dream of a secluded lifestyle, we've tracked down the people who are actually living it, in homes that are completely off the grid. Self-Reliance Cabin, Ontario, Canada. Hidden in the snowy Canadian wilderness lies the cabin of outdoorsman and self-reliance coach, Sean James. Sean lives here with his wife and their dog. He maintains a secluded existence, foraging for wild food and relying on his well-honed survival skills. Sean shares his way of life through his YouTube channel and website, My Self-Reliance. Inside, the cabin is homely and warm. It's kept toasty amid the snow with a wood-burning stove which can also be used for cooking. Sean began work on his dwelling last year, building the log cabin by hand without using any modern power tools. Impressive. Sean harvests maple sap from the surrounding trees using metal spiles. He has acquired a complex knowledge of the exact time and temperatures for the best harvest and says the sweet liquid can be drunk straight from the tree. He boils the sap down over an open fire to make his own maple syrup, which he then stores in jars. A steadfast table and chairs offer a cozy and comfortable dining space for Sean and his wife. Most days, Sean forages and cooks food from the surrounding wilderness, but for a sweet treat, he enjoys making plenty of pancakes with lashings of his homemade maple syrup. Living out in the woods may seem idyllic, but the realities of everyday life are no walk in the park. Chopping wood, building fires and searching for food are all part of a daily routine, no matter the weather. Sean has his furry pal, Collie, to keep him company in the snowy outdoor endeavors, and she features regularly in his video updates. Agafia's hut, Siberia, Russia. The Lykov family fled persecution in the 1930s and made their home deep in the Saiyan Mountains. Agafia Lykov was born in this secluded dwelling in Siberia, 160 miles away from the rest of civilization. Some 70 years later, she remains here and continues her traditional way of life. She shared her story of living in the wilderness in a documentary for Vice. Agafia's home is pared back to the bare necessities, without running water or any modern electronics. Day to day, Agafia looks after livestock, forages for food and goes fishing. To ensure the home's fire is always stocked, she chops wood and leaves at home. Interior furnishings and possessions exist only for necessity. Agafia says she would hate to move to a city. Although not an easy lifestyle, she would rather stay in the mountains as she's well equipped for her life here. For instance, a makeshift drum sits outside which she beats with a stick to scare away approaching bears. Agafia is very religious. The sparse decoration in the hut includes pieces of religious memorabilia and the 400-year-old book from which she prays. Each morning, Agafia gets up before sunrise and comes to read prayers before she begins the day's chores. Without trucks, cars or any other form of modern transport, Agafia walks or skis wherever she needs to go. She straps her feet into a pair of clever homemade skis so that she can traverse the rugged landscape to fetch wood, food and water. Gridlessness Family Home, British Columbia, Canada. Nestled in the north of British Columbia, Jeff and Rose live in this idyllic country home with their 5 daughters. They built the wooden house themselves for just $25,000, £19,000, and were determined to forge a debt-free, nature-filled life for their family. They document their adventures on their YouTube. Documentary makers exploring alternatives filmed a video tour around the family's unique home. The main living space is pared back but rustically cozy. Don't let the exposed beams deceive you. This house has electricity for a washing machine, toaster and phone chargers just like any other. The difference is that the family efficiently harvests power from solar panels, meaning their emergency generator runs for less than 40 hours a year. There is no running water in the dwelling, so rain is collected and stored underground before being brought into the main house in buckets. It is filtered through a Berkey filtration system for drinking, or heated on the wood burner for washing. Jeff and Rose homeschool their daughters, so the table is where the family eat, socialize and also study. There are 3 bedrooms in the house, with a snug double bed for Mum and Dad. This is the room that the eldest 2 girls share, while their 3 younger sisters sleep in another similar space. Without plumbing, the family use eco-friendly compost toilets, which they sprinkle with sawdust after use. The 40-acre landscape surrounding the property is breathtakingly beautiful and allows ample space for horse riding, hunting and fishing expeditions together. The family also grow their own food and keep bees, so they can have fresh vegetables and honey without a single trip to the supermarket. My little homestead, rural West, USA. Gary and Shelley live in this remote home with their 4 children, Bree, Garen, Bryson and Shy. The family began a more natural lifestyle following Shelley's severe intolerance to certain foods. The family decided to take the next step and farm livestock. While searching for land out in the country, they were inspired to go completely off the grid and built their own sustainable homestead. The family built the house themselves and continually renovate, using bags of earth to extend and create extra rooms. Despite their secluded lifestyle, the family love the internet and share their building projects on their YouTube channel and website. Each of the 4 children also has their own channel, where they share hobbies such as gaming, creative writing, mechanics and science experiments. The main, open-plan living space includes a dining area where the family can socialize and eat meals together. They cook on an open fire and dry food out in the sun to eat later. Solar energy powers any electrical items, allowing the family to sustain their lifestyle naturally wherever possible. Despite the homestead's rural, back-to-basics philosophy, there are still some more modern facilities. The family take pride in decorating their home and custom-built a sink and vanity mirror in the bathroom. Surrounding the main house are a selection of smaller bedroom huts. As they got older, the children each built their own separate dwelling. The pink house is for the youngest, Shy. She wanted a balcony where she could look at the stars and enough space indoors for her drum kit. Sally's round house, Yukon, Canada. This round little house was built in Yukon Territory, Canada, by Sally Wright. She had dreamed about living in a rustic house in the wilderness for years. Sally made a short film about the construction process and says that every day feels like a gift now she is finally able to call it home. The property was built from white spruce wood. The building material was only taken from trees that were already dead due to spruce bark beetles. All the trees selected for the project were harvested in a 150-meter radius from where the house sits. Recycled glass bottles within the walls provide both light and decoration. As Sally is 60 kilometers away from civilization and the electrical grid, the house is powered through solar energy. This process keeps minimal electrics such as LED lights and laptop chargers going. The secluded location of the house is picturesque, but it also presents logistical problems. When Sally needs to buy groceries, she drives a share truck to the nearest town, which is more than 3 hours away. The house is heated using the same material it was built from. Chopping wood from dead trees in her surroundings keeps her home cozy and warm in the coldest months. Sally goes to the frozen lake and drills down through the ice to fetch water when she needs it. She then fills up canisters and transports the water back to her house. Ariel's tiny house, Wyoming, USA. This miniature cabin on wheels belongs to Ariel McLaughlin and is nestled way up in the Wyoming mountains. She shares her minimalist off-grid lifestyle in a video tour with filmmakers from Tiny House Expedition. The cozy interior layout is cleverly designed to make the most of the small space. The kitchen uses an external propane gas tank for cooking. Due to the home size, it can be quickly heated from a wood-burning stove. The rest of the appliances run on electricity, generated from solar energy. Ariel's sitting area quickly transforms into a double guest bed, great for accommodating visitors. Storage is plentiful, and in addition to useful shelving tucked into the eaves, there's also extra space beneath the seating area. The dining table can even fold away when it's not in use. When the winter nights roll in, Ariel can climb up the stairs to her snug, loft-style bedroom. The sleeping space is surprisingly spacious and houses a double mattress and further storage cabinets at the foot of her bed. Keeping the home running day to day is no easy task. Ariel must continually shovel the snow from around the house to keep vents for things like propane fumes clear. To provide her home with running water, she has to fill up the service tanks from outside her house, where she also has a swing set and barbecue for the slightly warmer months.